This video is going to be called Your Team Sucks. So basically, the number one issue why people don't sell on Shopify or with their online store is that their team sucks. That's it. They're either trying to do it by themselves, their budget is too low to get a good team, or if they have a low budget, they don't know how to hire people who are good that are cheap. Like people that are good, you can get good people that are cheap, but a lot of people they don't know how to hire the right people. So they're like, "Oh, I'm starting a store. I have $2,000." It's like, yeah, it could be done, but if you have to have reoccurring income to reinvest into the right ads team, right? They have a bad ads team. Like a good ad team can scale you if you have a good product that's cheap to make by the right team, right? But you can't have a cheap team or a lazy team, right? You can't have cheap and lazy. A lot of people, they're cheap and they're lazy. How can you be both? You can't be cheap and lazy. At least if you're working hard, be cheap. If you're lazy, then have money. You can't be both, right? Fast, cheap. You can't get something for fast, cheap, quality, right? You got to sacrifice one. If it's fast and cheap, it's not quality. If it's cheap but it's quality, it's not going to be fast. If it's fast and quality, it's not going to be cheap. So think about that. Fast, cheap, quality. You can only get 2 out of 3. If it's fast and cheap, it's not quality. If it's quality and cheap, it's not going to be fast. If it's fast and cheap, it's not going to be quality. So this is the big thing that people go through. And they don't have no profits because they're like, oh, this doesn't work. Oh, it doesn't work because I hired a cheap team and I was lazy and I only worked at it for 2 months, right? If you worked at something for 2 months, you shouldn't have started it anyway. You shouldn't even started it. So short-term thinking. You had short-term thinking. They use the wrong technology, so they don't know what they're doing. They don't have a marketing plan, and they don't use the right technology to push out that marketing plan. That's why you need a team. The team is lazy, so they don't find the right technology. They just look at what works, and then they try it, but they don't try something else. Or they go on somewhere, they go on a blog, and they be like, oh, we should use this. No, we need to use this. No, they say we should. And then boom, bad team. You have a bad team. Your team sucks. Or they try to hire friends. Like, oh, let me hire my friend. Like, no, you don't have a friend. Your friend is the one who's going to make the business good. If you don't have nobody to do that, then cut your friend off and find a new guy who can do it. Then boom, let your friend do what he want to do. Or bad ads team. So you have a bad ads team. And your ad budget. This is a big one. The ad budget doesn't align with the plan. It's like they just take a product and be like, okay, let's run some ads. It's like you don't have a copy plan. You don't have an offer. You don't have deals set up. You don't have. It's just their plans are terrible. But if you look at a company that plays up front for the right things and they're just consistent over time, it'll just come, right? But most people, they don't have none of this. If you have any of these, you're not going to make it. If your marketing plan is bad, you're not going to make it. If your team is lazy, you're not going to make it. This is big nowadays because everybody thinks they can do something so fast now because they have a cell phone. People think they could just say, oh, I'm just this because I'll just type it in. Like, no, you have not even put in no work. That's why people fail so much. Because they don't work. They don't do deep work, right? I forgot who wrote the book Deep Work, but deep work. They haven't put in a deep work. And that's something that this generation can learn from the old generation who went to school for like 10 years before they can even qualify to do something, right? Like I've been doing Google AdWords for probably like 6 years, and I've been building websites since I was 15. But I wasn't successful in e-commerce until like 8 to 10 years because it changed over time. And the technologies kept changing and changing and changing. Like we didn't have Shopify when I was 15. We had WordPress and put in your product and just put it in whatever system you can put in eBay, right? I don't even think we had Amazon. So that's what I'm saying. But now kids nowadays, they think, oh, I'm just going to start a product and just post on TikTok. And because I'm getting 1,000 views on TikTok, I'm going to just post a product. Now you got 1,000 views on TikTok. You don't work at it for like a month and you sold like 2 things. But you say, I don't have to run ads, and then you run ads and then it don't work. And then TikTok banned you because you don't have enough content. So you just posted the same content over. That's what? Bad marketing plan. Right? Cheap team. Right? That's why I talk about people who just tell people to get on TikTok because it's organic traffic. Like, yeah, it's organic traffic, but you also got people on there watching the dumbest stuff. Right? A lot of them don't even have a buyer's intent. So that's what I'm saying. This is the biggest reason people fail. Their team sucks. They don't have professionals. Everybody on their team is not an A student. Everybody on your team should be an A student. If you have a B student on your team, then fire them. If they make a B, if they're an AdWords specialist and they make a B, fire them. If they're Facebook ad specialists and they're just a little good, fire them. You need A+ students. A+ or fail. That's how you have to think. If they're not an A+, they fail. Everybody should be A+ at what they do. So, like, subscribe. You can book a consultation with one of our sales experts. If you don't want to work with us, then just go hire someone else. But your team sucks. This is the biggest reason most people online store fail. So schedule a consultation with us and we'll evaluate your site, or we'll just talk about what you want to start or what type of business you want to start. But if you don't have any budget, if what you do when you start a store, if you have a scare that any of these will happen, then don't start. So make sure all of this is done before you even start a store. If you start in a store, you can come back to this video and you be like, oh, is he lazy? Okay, I'm gonna fail. If the team cheap, okay, I'm gonna fail. Am I using the wrong technology? Okay, I'm gonna fail. Am I going short-term thinking? Okay, I'm gonna fail. Do my ads budget align with the plan that I'm doing? Okay, yes, I'm gonna succeed. If it don't, I'm gonna fail. So you can just come back to this video and look at this and be like, okay, all of this is not what I'm doing. I have a highly chance to succeed. I don't want to pay this guy because he's too expensive. I'm going to go hire another team that's cheaper, right? So go like, subscribe, and more coming.